So magically, we were able to bring in another guest. So we're off to a great start. You know
a good year.
A good year.
I
Great start.
don't know if it's good. I mean, it's a great year.
It's a great year.
You can't say it's a good. I mean, no, it's a good year, not a great year.
Okay,
it's great implies.
It implies that it's great.
I mean, it's too complicated.
You know what? Just cue the intro. Hello, guys. It's Two Latin Brothers Podcast, also known as T.L.B.P. I'm Victor.
And I'm Adrian.
And as I said, we managed to bring somebody on, magically enough.
We? You mean you?
Me. Me.
It's not we this time.
Yeah. I was able to bring in somebody. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Nicole. I'm a friend of Victor's.
There you go. Normally, what we tend to do is the opposite brother of whom which brings a guest on.
We haven't done this in a very long time.
Yeah, brings in 3 questions for the guest. You have no questions.
Because I've never met this person before.
Because you've never met this person before, but that's to get to know the person, right?
Okay, sure. All right. So,
you can go with the obvious one first. It gives you time to think.
I mean, I gotta go. Okay, so it just came to me.
Okay.
So I already kind of gathered that you guys have been in school logically because you're both still teenagers, and by law you have to go to school, and we all know the rest, right? kind of self-explanatory. Yes. But here's my question. So I guess the thing is like most people, you know, like I'm assuming you guys didn't meet like the first day of classes, like let's say like grade 9. Did you guys meet then? Or?
I don't. To be honest, I don't remember our first encounter. You just kind of been there.
Yeah, you just kind of like, been there, you know?
Yeah, she was just there, and I'm just like, hey, what's up? And we just got along, and we're just like, great.
That's it, really? Wow, yeah. So there's no like epic story about like, we got put together, and I was like really awkward sitting next to this weirdo.
I mean, because we met in music class.
Yeah, music class and then like band.
Yeah, and then band. But like, I never really, how do I know you?
Yeah, that's honestly making me really think about it now, Victor. It was definitely grade 9 music class.
Yeah.
And we were probably like put into a group or something, honestly, like with like all the like stupid little arrangements we had to do. Yeah. Probably something like that.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Well, what instrument do you play?
I play the bass clarinet, unfortunately. Yep.
I mean, the school we go to has really trashy bass clarinets to begin with. So, yeah, she had a lot of non-playing time because it kept falling apart.
Falling apart. Okay, so here's when I was there, the person who played bass clarinet, she would like rent out like a bass clarinet. Like she wouldn't use like the schools. She would rent out her own.
That's a great idea.
And then I remember she something or other, and then she quit, and then we didn't have a bass clarinetist. I just remember like when she like this is probably too divulging, but everyone's gonna know who I'm talking about when I say this out loud. Whoever's in high school who went to high school with me, y'all know who I'm talking about. Please don't jump in the chat. Anyway, so I remember when she dropped out of because she was in choir and she was in band, but she dropped out of band first. Then when she dropped out of choir, I was like that guy who was like, hey, I'm going to like, I'll go with you for moral support. I just want to see the teacher's reaction. And no joke, he was like, okay. And he just signed like no reaction, like stone cold, like because everybody else, he would fight. He'd be like, no, you're so good. Please stay. We need you. We need like, he didn't do any of that. He just signed the thing and then get out. Like, I'm done with you. And I was like, I think I felt bad just being there. I'm like, wow, so you weren't a treasured student?
Oh no, that's horrible.
I was like, he didn't care.
It's just like, yep, see it.
And then like 2 years later, I dropped out of band, and I remember because of like what I was trying to study, and music fell right in the time where I needed to do like a specific class to get into the program I want to get into, and we all know the story anyway. So. Not all, but like
I mean, most
students have gone through this.
Yeah, he was forced to drop it,
where you have to drop a hobby to make money.
Yeah.
So it was. I remember when I dropped out, like both of the music teachers at the time were like, "But you're the saxophone guy. Like, we need you. And like at the time I was going in senior band, I was going to be the only alto saxophone because I play alto saxophone. I was going to be the only alto saxophone left. So they were like, we actually need you. Like, you can't leave. And I remember this other guy, the poor guy, they made a guy who played tenor switch to alto, and he was like kind of upset about it. Yeah. But like they needed an alto saxophone. He was so sad about it. And I was like, well, you know, I'm just trying to go further in life. I'm trying to make moves.
Trying to step up. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
So she's just been there.
She's just been there.
Fully been there. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
my whole high school experience. Nicole's right there over to the corner.
Yeah.
Up until like this year.
Up until this year. I mean, she was still kind of around the corner. It's just a message away. You know?
Exactly.
So are you going to school or are you doing the online thing?
I'm doing the online thing. When we were in person, I was going like, you know, like how you do like half and half or whatever.
Yeah,
but
the hybrid.
The hybrid or whatever. Now it's just all online, and honestly, no clue what's going to happen in a week, 2 weeks. Come March, maybe we're still online. Maybe it's back to normal.
No, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
The board doesn't even know.
And what's really great about everything is that even the general public doesn't actually know, because all we've been told is hopefully by August we have enough vaccines for like half the population.
Yeah. It's
life.
She just looks so done with this. She's like, I can't do this anymore.
She's like, no.
Yeah, it's so like everything's kind of like back and forth. You know what I mean? Like you get set in the routine of like, all right, I actually have to go to school, have to balance out with like online and like if you're working or whatever, and then it's like, wait, never mind, that's not going to happen anymore, and then you're back to just doing it online. And I don't know, you have to jump around and kind of be adaptable. But
see, I just gave up on going to school. I'm like, screw this. I'm doing this online.
God.
I'm full in online.
Yeah, I was thinking doing that too, honestly.
So this is a good life lesson for you guys. When you guys get to college or university, or if you choose to go to neither, I don't know, whatever you want to do.
Or you take a victory lap because you feel like it.
Anyway, I mean, whatever it is, but if you go to college or university, this is a good time to like really learn by yourself.
To learn by yourself. Yeah.
Because, oh my goodness, that is a nightmare. If you don't know how to learn by yourself, it's over. Like, you've just thrown away thousands of dollars.
Literally, if you just look at the room we're in, it literally screams that I know how to learn by myself. Because, like, we just have a bunch of instruments all over the place.
There you go.
On the, no, but, like, I mean, like, one of the things I remember when I was in my first year of college, I remember because you have to take like a compulsory, like a random elective, but like you have to take it. Like it's not a choice. Like most programs have like a random elective, and most of the times it's online.
Okay.
So like you'll be going to your classes, and then all of a sudden it'll be like the middle of the year of like the semester, and you'll get an email telling you, hey, you haven't even logged into your online class yet. Have you thought about maybe doing any assignments? Because the prof for the online class is like messaging you like, yo, where are you at? Like you need to start like reading the material, answering questions and all that stuff. And then I remember I was talking with this guy and I'm like, yeah, I haven't even like logged in yet. And the guy goes, well, did you go to like because we had like an initial like Skype call at the time for like the first class. And I was like, yeah, I went to that. And then he's like, and he said that everything was already open. So like we could do it like whenever. And he goes, mine was like that too. And he says that he took a weekend because it was like 42 hours of like work material. So it's like, I put it to the test and did all 42 hours in one sitting. And I was like, dude, you have like no life.
Literally, he dropped his life just to get it out of the way.
He had like an A in the class and he was like 42 hours and I never have to worry about it ever again.
I mean, in a way, it's like cram studying.
Yeah.
Because like you're keeping everything in your mind as you go, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the connections are even better because it's right there, right in that moment.
Well, yeah. And he was like, the other thing too is like, he's like, mine had me write a few papers. So he's like, I literally would like quote myself from a previous paper.
He's like, I literally just wrote about this on the last assignment.
So like, he's like, I like quote myself from like another assignment, then write about that. Yeah. It was like the funniest thing. He's like, because he's like, I had to like look for a paper about a topic we had previously talked about and then write about it. So I used my own paper to talk about that.
Honestly, it's either super duper efficient or like you're gonna like want to scoop your eyeballs out with a spoon. Like, you know,
it must have gotten pretty repetitive for the teacher having to grade all that.
Well, I know, but imagine being that teacher on the other side, though. Like, all day, your phone is just going, because they get an email every time you finish an assignment. So, like, instead of getting, like, an insane amount on, like, a Friday when everything's due, or, like, a Thursday when everything's due, for, like, 42 hours, this guy's phone must have been crazy. Because he was, like test, multiple choice, like, because we had to do, like, assignments where it's, like, 5 multiple choice questions and just answer, because, like, they had, like, weekly things where you had to read, like, a paragraph and answer, like, 5 multiple choices.
Oh, you can do those in, like, 10 minutes.
Yeah, so
ding,
but he went through all of them in one sitting.
Jeez.
It's like, what,
poor
like
man's
15 weeks of, like, content in, like, a couple of hours.
I have mad respect for that, though.
Oh yeah, no, and then I never saw that guy again. I don't know what happened to him.
Oh,
just kind of flew away. I mean, I don't. No, I like literally, like, I remember we finished this semester, and then he just, like, I don't know.
He literally flew away.
Like, that's the thing. Like, you'll quickly realize who, like, the go-getters are in any program, because, like, you'll jump into college and there'll be, like, hundreds of people there, and then within the first 2 weeks, like, half of the class will disappear.
oh
See,
God.
I feel like this is what's going to happen to me. My first year, it's going to be like, you know, like, go get it. By the second year, I'm going to be like, right. And then by the last year, I'm going to be like, I've aged like 16 years in the lapse of 2 years. I can't handle this anymore.
No, I had a friend who, because the first program I initially took, I dropped out of, and then I went and took something else. But I have a friend who, well, we're still close. He stayed in the program, and he finished it. But no joke, I have a picture of us, like, when we first started, like, being friends and stuff, to, like, how he came out of the program. He looks like he aged like a good decade. He just looks so tired.
No. Oh.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
I can't wait to look old. You know, just come out with a full-on cane, you know, get my back, like,
wrinkles.
Really, like, you know.
Okay, look, so look, this is the advice that I've been told by many psychologists, because I took a lot of psychology in school, but a lot of psychologists and a lot of professors have told me that is over, like, no one takes it seriously until you actually do it.
Yeah.
A good night of sleep is not worth the extra hour of studying.
Yeah.
You're better off getting your 8 hours.
Yeah.
I kid you not, it's so true.
Mm-hmm.
It's so true. It's crazy how true that is. But if you can get those 8 hours,
I mean, I get 7 hours.
You're golden. If you can get those 8 hours, you're golden. That's it.
Sometimes
it doesn't matter, and you need to fix that, because that's the problem. Your brain's still developing.
I mean, with 7 hours, and I feel very energetic in the morning.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I can't even wake up at, like, any time.
My routine, literally, alarm goes off at 7. Work out, take a shower, eat if I feel like it. Because sometimes I don't feel hungry in the morning, and then do all my online school. Then actually eat something, because lunch, and then do online school again, and then just figure out what I have to study, if I have to study, because asynchronous is very nice.
Yeah, that's the benefit of that.
Yeah, and that's literally my day.
Okay, look, but you're lucky. Look, this guy is, like, the luckiest human being I've ever met. He's one of those people who's like, I'm gonna go to sleep, and he'll, like, won't even fall on the bed, and he'll already be, like, knocked out.
Like, I'm, like, mid-air, not even landing yet, and I'm already out.
That's cold.
So here's the problem with that, okay? So we share a room together.
Okay.
This is the problem. I can't sleep if it's too loud. Like, if there's even, like, the slightest sound, I can't sleep.
Okay.
So the problem is that we're in the basement, so there's always a lot of noise for whatever reason. The basement always has noise. So I can spend anywhere between 4 to 5 hours just tossing and turning in bed, and then he'll turn over and start snoring just when I'm starting to fall asleep. I'll be like,
I reach that deep sleep right when he gets sleepy.
And then I'm like, okay, it looks like I'm just not gonna get sleep tonight. This is it. I've given up.
Are you at least, like, aware that you snore, though? You're not, like, one of those people who's like, I don't snore at all.
No, I'm aware I snore.
Okay, good.
So, like, look, this is the play now. Now I, like, wake up and I'll literally get out of my bed and flip him over so I can sleep. So this is like I don't know if he's I haven't done it in, like, a good week, because he's actually, like, not sleeping properly. But, like, I'll get up and, like, roll him over. And before, we used to sleep in, like, a different room, but
Okay.
We switched up.
he would be like, he was, like, in a little bed up against the wall, and at one time I rolled him over and he went right into the wall, and
I
he,
don't
like,
remember that night.
and he literally, like, sat up, pulled the blanket, and then laid back down.
Oh
like,
God.
still knocked out.
Honestly,
I wish.
Sleeping, try not to sleep against the wall. It's a serious problem. You turn over, you hit your head, you barely remember what happened the day before. On top of the fact that I already have a disability in memory.
Oh, that doesn't help.
So it's just like, I'm going to go to sleep, lose some memory, wake up. I'm already losing memory anyways.
There you go.
So
I probably received a concussion and never knew.
Meanwhile, this guy's like lucid dreaming, and I'm like, I don't get enough sleep to even dream.
Oh yeah, I can lucid dream. That's fun.
That's sick. Lucid dreaming is really cool. I could do it when I was younger, but I was like, from the ages of, I think, like 13 to like 15, I could definitely do it, but now it just like, I can't, I don't know, disappointing.
Do you dream?
I do. I dream almost like every time I sleep. It's really weird. And my dreams are always like, sometimes they're like perfectly realistic where you're like, okay, like that's just an average dream. And then they're like, like it's like a stew of every random thing that's ever been a thought in my mind. And I wake up and I'm like, whoa.
Some serious LSD type stuff.
No, yeah. You need
every random thought you've ever had in your mind. That must be horrible. That sounds more like a nightmare.
I don't know. I don't have... It's not a dream. It's not a nightmare. It's just like an
in-between.
An in-between of... It's uncomfortable, Randomness.
Meanwhile, I'm out here like, I literally, like, if I sleep for 5 hours, I blacked out for 5 hours. Like nothing happened in those 5 hours. Like, I can look at the clock, lay down, fall asleep, and then I'll wake up and be like, how did the clock change?
Oh my God. I had my wisdom teeth out recently, and so the sleep after getting your wisdom teeth out is so weird because you're not only like tired and in pain, but I was
up.
And drugged, exactly.
If they drugged you up.
I was still,
they kind of have to.
I was still half out of it from like the like IV sedation stuff they give you, and then I was on like heavy painkillers, and those dreams, whoa, like yeah, not a good
you lost
time.
A bit of yourself there.
A bit of myself there.
She's like, I came back a different person after that experience.
Yeah, I was stripped of something there. I don't know what it was. Like, maybe it
reminded me of this professor. I had this psych professor who he's retired now, but I remember he offered, like, in the middle of the semester, he asked us for feedback, and like I think the number one feedback is your class is really boring and like I could take a nap in your class kind of feedback that he got. And I remember like we had a test the day before and we all came back to class, and no joke, he started the class like this. So one time when I was in college, I did LSD. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. We all woke up. We were all like, did he just
confess into doing drugs?
What did he just say? So rewind. So where's the click remote? Someone rewind. We were all like panicking, and then he like went on to like explain his like trip, and then he started talking about like how LSD simulates, it's basically the same thing like when you're dreaming and the neural connections of like all that. He broke it like all down and it got really complicated and all that stuff. But it like led into like the actual lesson. But like that was the most exciting class.
That's a smart way to start your lesson. So I was on LSD, slowly tricking the student into doing the lesson.
Yeah, oh my God. I watched a documentary on Netflix and it was about like people taking LSD, and it was a bunch of like celebrities and stuff. And I just watched that and sat back and I was like, that is one of the most horrifying, like, I could
just wrap watching somebody on LSD is like you going through it yourself.
Yeah, like, I watched that documentary, I'm good, never need to do it, have no desire
I've experienced it myself. Like, yeah, you're just there.
What is it? No, like, some people, like, get really messed up by it, though. Like, some people never come back the same, and some people do, and we don't know why. It's like what is it? It's like marijuana. Some people hallucinate, and some people, a lot of people don't even know it's a hallucinogen because it's like almost nobody gets it. But then there's that one like rare guy who like all of a sudden sees a tree attacking him when you're walking in the middle of a park, and he's just losing his mind, and you don't know what's going on. And like I've told this story many times. I knew this guy who I had. These guys in high school, they weren't friends. They were more like acquaintances, or more like that guy who sat next to me in English class.
I just say acquaintance.
We had to. Anyway, so I remember one of them was telling me how like he had a friend who was like not the brightest guy. He's like, this one time I went over to his house and I walk into his room and the guy's curled up in a corner yelling at a vent that it was trying to eat him. Oh. So he's like, my initial reaction is, what on earth did you just take?
Yeah.
So it's like, so I'm scouring through this guy's like in the corner of his room, like bawling because he thinks this vent against the wall is going to eat him. And I'm like running around the room, like trying to shut the door so his parents don't hear, all while trying to figure out what on earth this guy took. And he had taken some shrooms.
Oh my God.
But like, he's like, you need to like not do this alone. Like, you don't do that by yourself. You gotta have that guy who watches you.
Yeah, you gotta have your like trip sitter or whatever. Oh my God.
But it was like he's like by far the funniest encounter I've ever had with someone. It's like, imagine you open a door and there's this guy just like bawling his eyes out, screaming
at a vent
that it's going to eat him.
It's gonna eat me. And it's just like, dude, it's just a vent. What are you talking about?
Then he's gonna think you're gonna eat him or something. Like,
I don't know. That's where the story ended because a teacher looked at us and she gave us a dirty look, like, guys, you're talking in my class. I'm trying to teach a lesson.
I would have been like, Miss, I think we can make some connections here.
Yeah. Well, no, what I hated was when I was in grade 9, I had a science teacher who, when students would pass notes in class, I don't think you guys lived that.
You just text the person across the room.
Yeah. Okay. So when I was in grade 9, we weren't allowed to like really carry our phones on us. So we would write notes in class. But if you were caught, the teacher would read the note out loud in front of everybody, regardless of what it was. Like, that was the rule, and everybody in the school knew this. Like, he was known for that.
Oh my God.
And I remember this one time, like, there's this one note where this guy and this girl were like arguing over like the note back and forth, and he read the entire argument out loud, like, and he held no back.
That's crazy.
We were all like, pass the chips, bro. It was crazy. And at the end, he just, when he was done reading it, he was like, very insightful, guys. I now know why you both will be cranky for the next week and a half. And he just threw it out and then proceeded to continue the class as if nothing happened. And we were all like, who are you?
You savage.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He was such a nice teacher, though. He was such a nice teacher. Like, if you didn't do something like that, you were like his best friend. You wanted, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure you've all had that teacher. Like, if you weren't my teacher, I'd totally hang out with you, which is weird because you're an adult.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He was that guy. But like, if he ever got you passing notes, it was all over.
All bets are off. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I remember this one time. These two guys were like, "Oh, we're gonna get him for real." Like, so they were like writing these like fake notes about how a trash of a teacher he was, just so he would read it for the class.
It's like, look at this teacher. He's such a.
What does he think he is? Reading our notes in front of everybody.
I love how we just censored ourselves so that you wouldn't have to edit it out.
Oh well, I have to do a lot of editing anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, you have another question?
I mean, well, I know and Victor knows, but I don't think the general audience knows. But I think I should mention that you are Nate's girlfriend, who we've had on the podcast twice.
Our music guy.
Also the guy who wrote our intro. Yes.
Yes. I am.
So I didn't ask him because I felt you would have a better recollection of this question than he would.
Okay.
And I mean, you'll figure out why in a sec. I'm gonna ask how you two met, with this? Because we have like this ongoing joke on the podcast whenever he's on that you two need to break up so we can get another good hit single from him.
That is the funniest thing because I texted him the other day and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be on like the podcast or whatever," and he was like, "Oh, that's so cool," and he was like, "I bet that Victor's gonna ask you if you're gonna break up with me so I can have better music." And I'm like thinking over the past couple days, I'm like, what's gonna be my answer to that? I don't know what to say.
It wouldn't be around the time of the podcast. He would be out of the loop.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to coordinate this, Ron.
I mean, like I'm gonna rent out like an Airbnb like in the middle of nowhere. We're gonna get the paper plans. We're gonna have a whole stage. It's gonna be some
camera angles, GoPros everywhere.
Yeah,
gonna have film and documented it.
Yeah. So how did you meet Nate?
Nate and I met through band because when I was in grade 9, because I was the only person to play the bass clarinet, I was put into senior band right away. And like we had like small interactions, like, yay, we hate band, woo, like that kind of interaction, You know what I mean? And then in grade 9, when we went to Wonderland, like Canada,
Canada's Wonderland.
You went to Canada. Being in Canada.
We did.
We went to another section in Canada.
Just another section, a little bit down the road. But, you know, when we went to Toronto...
really down the road.
Yeah.
A ways down the road. A ways down the road. Anyways, when we went to Toronto, like, it was very, very, like, spur of the moment, very quick. Like, we're in line at the Starbucks to get, like, drinks and stuff. And he had offered me some of his water. And then we just started talking and didn't stop talking. And just kind of spent, like, the whole evening going back and forth and whatever. Until we were at the Blue Jays game. And we, like, that's where everyone kind of, like, spent the night. You know, we were all, like, spending the evening there. It was good. And he wrote, like, I forget exactly the wording of it, but something along the lines of, like, are you looking for a relationship, or, like, will you be my girlfriend, on a note on his phone, because he was so nervous. And I was like, yeah, like, of course, you know? And the rest is kind of history. Here we are almost, like, 3 years later. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Wow.
A span of 8 hours, it kind of all just came together.
He's a fast clicker.
I mean, and props to him for having courage, but also,
like, why do you have to use a note, bro?
Also, we're gonna talk about that notepad later.
Is that still, like, in his phone?
I don't know. I have to ask him about that one.
He probably has it, like, saved, screenshotted, like it's on the cloud.
He secretly has it in case he printed it out.
Oh my god!
He just like has it hung up in his closet, like. It's the best memory I ever had. No, but see, this is why I asked you, because I figured he would be like, yeah, we went to, like, Wonderland, and that's it, and by the end of the day we were together. That probably would have been his answer.
Yeah, he's like, he probably would have given a little less detailed of an answer than I am, but he's a very, like, detail oriented guy. Like, he'd give you the play by play. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, like, when he told us about, and I still laugh about it every time I think about it. When he he told us how, like, his radio, like, that someone stole the faceplate from his radio in his car.
Yeah.
Her reaction, I wish everybody could see that. It was just like, oh my gosh.
Has the best facial expressions. His stories are always so good. He's very all over the place, you know?
Well, yeah, but it was like, I'll never forget that. And I was like, you know what? That should go somewhere. Like, that needs to...
The amount of amazing Nate stories I have. One time, this summer, we had gone to a cottage. And on the way, but we're in the middle of nowhere. We're like 3 hours away from Ottawa. The middle of nowhere, his muffler on his car falls off.
Oh, yeah.
He told us about that too.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. The amount of thick and thin, so many experiences with this one.
Well, you know what? I can tell you that you think it's been rough so far. As of next year, statistically, you guys will enter the rough part of the relationship.
We'll see how it goes.
she's like, I feel like I've heard that before somewhere.
No, it's just the way. It's just statistically, it's like, I think it's like 1% out of every high school relationship ever.
Oh, yeah.
Once you enter college and university, you develop more as an individual, because you're now, it's like you versus the world. And then there's that random guy I hang out with every so often to go watch a movie, dinner, and maybe occasionally we'll talk about stuff.
Yeah, it's just that age where people tend to drift apart and begin to discover themselves.
Yeah, truly. So people often change, and, you know, you go one way, I'll go right, but you go left, you know.
Yeah. And then there's like that 1%. It's just like, we're gonna sway this together no matter what.
Yeah, I met there was a couple that were like, when I was in high school, they were together all through high school, and then I remember, and he was like some of the things that they did were like above and beyond like a relationship.
Okay.
Like at some point they were like, they talked to each other like an old married couple, and I was like, how did this progression like get here? But I remember once they entered college, like a year or two later, her Instagram was like just pictures of them together. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I clicked on it by like, I was like watching her story, and then like, you know, like if you click on like the top corner, it'll like go to their profile. I clicked on it by accident, and there were only 3 posts, and I was like, whoa, what happened?
Uh-oh.
And then I started like going, I'm like, I went to like the tagged and
started investigating.
I was like, oh my, what happened? And then I was like, wait a minute, they broke up.
And it's like, you feel heartbroken for them. You're like, I witnessed this.
Yeah,
and, like,
I was actually hurt. I'm like, if I message him, because like I found out that it had been like 4 months and I was like late to the party, and I was like, if I message him now,
it's too late.
Like it's too late. Also, he was already posting like stories with like another girl, and I was like, I can't get involved now.
Okay, so next year, I will become the moderator of your relationship.
No, what is it like?
We must let this play out, because if it does come to a point where you guys start to drift, I'm gonna want to pull a prank on Nate at the worst and most difficult time of his life.
When he's down on his knees,
just for content. I'm sorry, bro, but like it's gonna happen. Just for him to write new music, because you know it's something we need to happen.
Right, we just want more content.
More content.
We're willing to destroy relationships in order to make this happen.
That's your brand. Willing to destroy relationships.
That'll be this new slogan for the brand we're starting.
Okay.
Somebody write that down. No, it's like stuff like that I don't know. And then there were also those couples those people who are like, you always figured they would be a couple in high school because of like the way they were very flirty and stuff, and then they never became happened. A couple. Yeah. And then like high school ended, and then they became a couple.
Weird.
And it's like
they were getting to know each other.
You guys wasted like 4 years. Yeah. What are you doing? You know, like and then like, because again, you change as an individual in college or high school or whatever. And then when you go through that with somebody else and you're changing and they're changing, but they still like they liked you when you were in high school, then you start dating once you're in college or university, it's like a completely different person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then that's just setting it up to fail.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
The amount of like, I've seen it so many times now, and then
it's like textbook.
Well, yeah, but I think the one thing I tell my brother Tom, like, try to stay friends with the people you went to high school with. Even if you like drift apart or you go to a different program, if the guy literally leaves this like the city or goes to another city, leaves the country to study abroad.
Well, I guess, Nicole, you're stuck with me now.
You've entered that list.
You've entered the list just as of now.
I mean, like, for her too. Like, this is good advice for her too. Like, stay in touch with those people. You never know. Like, that could be your boss one day, and you would you'd never like, it'd be so awkward, right?
That'd be so
like, we used to be best friends in high school, but then I went to college and you went to university, and we lost track of each other. And then 6 years later, I got hired to this company, and you're the guy doing the interview.
So weird. Like, imagine walking into that interview room and you're just sitting there face to face with someone, and it's like you don't want to leave on a bad note. You know what I mean? Like, if you never have an interaction with that person again, you don't want to leave like a relationship, whether that be like platonic or like whatever. You don't want to leave it on like a bad note like that. You know, always have like a happy conclusion in a way.
Yeah.
You know,
every interview I've ever done literally turned into me just like having a normal conversation with somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's so bizarre, because I'm like, mentally I'm ready, I'm prepped, I got this like in my brain.
You should have an interview with the intention of trying to make this person your friend, but not make them your friend.
Well, here's the thing, so my very first interview, I was in grade 11, and I was gonna like work for this summer camp where they taught various international languages. And there were like a lot of like embassy kids and like people of like higher status who sent their kids to this place. So I was panicking on the inside, and the lady was just like, "So I hear you speak Spanish." And I go, I'm like, "Yeah, it's on my resume." And she goes, I'm like, "Are you guys gonna like?" I'm like, "Is there like a test for fluency or something I need to know?" And she goes, "No, I believe you." And then we instantly break into Spanish because she spoke Spanish. So like. The rest of the interview, just like language. And then at the end, she's like, "Yeah, you speak Spanish." And then she like wrote something down, and then that was it. But the way I even got that interview was really funny, because at the high school you guys went to, I was like the unofficial tech guy.
Okay,
because I'm really good with technology. So actually, I'm going to say his name, but then I'll rip it out. Every time this guy had a tech problem, he would track me down and call me to help.
Oh my god.
Every single time.
Just call you out of class.
Yeah, he would like rip me out of class to come help. So, anyway, but so I was like switching some computers because like they were old and they had gotten new ones, and I was like switching this person's computer, and then she's like, "You're really young to be like a tech guy from like the school board." And I'm like, "I'm actually a student here," and she goes, "Oh, okay. That explains it."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "How do you know how to?" I'm like, this is just like my hobby, like my side thing. And she goes, "Okay." She's like, "Shouldn't you be in class right now?" I'm like, this is my class. Like, I'm in like tech something, but they have me doing this instead. And she goes, okay. And then she like wrote down like a name for it. She's like, you should apply for this job. She's like, they're always complaining about like tech problems and stuff. She's like, so they should hire you. And I was like, okay. And then later on, they found that I spoke Spanish, and then I wasn't the tech guy anymore. I was the teacher assistant. So I was helping 4 to like 12-year-olds learn Spanish every single day for like a month and a half.
Wow. But I mean, like, that's just like, it goes to show how much like you can network and make connections and stuff. You know, like it really will come in handy in the future. Even if like you find like certain people really annoying, always be friendly and like polite to them, because you never know 5-10 years down the line if you could hit them up and, you know, make a connection that way.
Oh yeah, and, like I like from my first program, I'm still in touch with like half of those people, and like it's crazy because like a lot of people will go into like college and be like, or in university, they'll be like, network. I gotta network. I gotta befriend everybody kind of mentality.
Yeah, and I see that a lot actually. Like not that I actually see it, but like I hear of it a lot. Where like people tend to go to like college or university, and their intent is literally just to go in and network.
That's nuts.
So like you literally like, you're taking this course, you're probably already have some kind of profession in this, but they're literally getting to know the people because one day they might be your potential employees or stuff like that. And you see that a lot mainly in business and a lot of business courses. I had my teacher.
Well, to cut you off, sorry, but to cut you off, the way I began to identify this really quickly is when someone introduces themselves and they use their full name, you know something's up. Like, that's the first flag. You're like, you're not actually my friend. You don't want to be my friend. You just want my phone number, though. You want my email, don't you? Here's a business card. Like, I met like so many people like that. I have this one guy. I still have his phone number. I've never called him. I've never texted him. But he's in my contacts list because he introduced himself. He was the first guy who did this to me. He walked up, said his name, said his last name, gave me his email and his phone number, all in the same sentence. And I was like, here's my phone, bro. Go at it. Like, I don't, you know.
At that point, just make little business cards, man.
No, but literally. And then I remember halfway through the like year, I think he switched program or he dropped out or something like that. I can't remember. But like, that was like his intent. Like, he literally like
he walked in,
showed up, and that's what he did.
Looked for people,
and it was crazy. I never experienced that. Also, like, I was like the youngest one in that, like, because when you're in programs, they divide you into sections, and in that section, I was the baby of the group. Like, I had just come out of high school. There were people like in their 30s and their 40s, and like there was this one guy, and I love this story because it's the greatest story ever. There was this one guy who was 73 years old in my program.
Wow, go on.
And we were all like, shouldn't you be like on a golf course right now? Like, you know, like tired. And it was a computer course. So he was like, I'm here to update myself for the future. We were like,
yeah, okay.
Are you planning to keep working? Like, what are you? And then I remember I had this other class with him where there was like literally no joke, like this 12-year-old sitting in the front row of the class. Jeez. And we honestly thought like maybe it's like a PD day. Like, it's like, you know, like maybe teachers, for those who don't know, if you're American, PD is like a day off where teachers like do workshops and stuff to help better teach us in quotation marks. We don't actually know what they do, let's be honest. But yeah, so we were all like, maybe it's like a PD day, and he's like there so that he like the professor teaches like kid or something, you know, maybe he's watching his kid, right? Like, or we don't actually know, right? And then for whatever reason, there were like 20 people in that class. It was the first day of that class too. And the professor's like, oh, there's only 20 people in this class. Let's do the attendance. And he's like the 4th person on the list. And he says, here. And we all go,
hello?
You're a student?
That's crazy.
And then and I'm sitting next to like the 73-year-old. And I'm like, what is this age gap?
73 and a 12.
The teaching mentality.
Yeah. But that kid was like so smart. He was like taking our program, and he was taking like business administration. Because he's like, I want to like build my own software company and all that stuff. We were like,
he was already planning his empire.
You're 12.
Goal-oriented little kid. I mean,
he was just like he explained to us that like he from a very like young age, numbers were always so easy to him. Yeah. And like his parents caught on, so then they nurtured that part. Yeah. And then they discovered that he was like super, super gifted. But he's like, no one in his family was. And I met his mom, and she was like so grateful that I was like so nice to him. She's like, you're so nice to him and so kind to my son. And I know he's like this little kid. And I'm like, well, I get that. Like, I mean, and then I explained that I used to work at a camp with kids, and she's like, it makes sense now. Yeah. Meanwhile, the 73-year-old was trying to make me like get with his like granddaughter, which was really awkward because it turns out I went to school with her when I was like in high school. So like the plot twist got like real deep, and I was like, oh, I actually know her.
Like, no.
But it was like really funny. And then I met his son who came to pick him up once, which was her dad. Like, it was like just like this a mess of like all the time. It was just a mess. And then when I met him,
you were involved with this family without even knowing it.
Well, I don't even. You know what's really funny? I've never said the girl's name, and I'm sure she doesn't even know that this even happened. Like, she has no idea that I know her grandfather, her. You
met the family, and she has no
her mother, her grandmother, like, and some of her aunts and uncles. Like, I met all these people, and she has no idea.
No clue at all. That's
unless,
crazy.
Of course, they told her.
Yeah, but whoa.
Yeah, but it was like, it's really funny, like stuff like that you're like, wow, it really is a small world. Like everybody, like it's just that freaked me out. After that, I was like, if somebody walk up to me and go, hey, you're so and so, and I go, I assume so. If you're talking to me, clearly you know who I am already.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, so be ready for that, guys. It's the famous ding.
It's the famous ding from the famous Nathaniel. Oi. I'll answer it later.
Okay.
All right.
Noah, what is it? This one time when I was in college, a friend of mine's like, yo, watch this. And he had like an app on his phone that would make the sound. Oh. And we were like in a really cramped bus. So he like played the sound.
And everybody looks at their phone.
Half of the bus went for their phone. Half of the I'm like this. Literally, this many people have an iPhone. Like, what is this?
That's nuts.
It was so funny. It was the funniest thing.
I mean, I love the fact that like everybody knows iPhone isn't the greatest phone, but they're still gonna be like first in line when the new phone comes out because it's just for status.
Money.
Yeah.
What is it like statistically? I remember you're like statistics. I read a lot of statistics clearly there, but statistically, if
I'm reading a lot right now.
If a guy's texting a girl and she has an iPhone and she gets a green text message, she's like 58% less likely to reply.
Huh.
Just because he's not an iPhone user. I'm like,
that's insane.
I'm like, I could have a $2,000 Android phone
that's more expensive than yours.
And opens.
Yeah,
like, get on that.
Apple, then it's not.
Yeah. But I was like, just because it's not a blue bubble, I'm no longer like a quality candidate. But hey, my phone folds open. Get on the left.
See, and then there's those like, people that go like that one extra step and like bootload like the iOS right onto like their Android phone. And then they're like, I got FaceTime, I got Safari. It's still Android.
What is it? There's this like app going around called like, I think it's called Blue Bubbles or Bubbles Blue. I can't remember. But like it lets you have to have a Mac though in order to be able to use iMessage on your Android phone. But it's really funny because every time an app like that comes out, like 3 to 4 weeks later, it's gone. Like because Apple just like, we don't like this. I don't like you. You're stealing. You can't do this.
That's smart intelligence Russians. I don't know why.
I don't know. Apple's really secretive about it. And everybody's like, you know what? Apple should release, like, if you charged everybody, like every Android user.
Just like release.
No,
like
even if you charge, look, imagine this. Even if you, like, you say you release an app and you charge people $5 a year to use iMessage, you know how much bank they would make? Like the first day, the app would just crash.
Yeah.
Because $5 is nothing. Even if they charged $10, people would still pay that.
Yeah.
You know, when WhatsApp first came out, they charged $2.50 a year just to use it. Now it's free.
Yeah.
Because they found a way to make money.
No, it's because they started a WhatsApp business, and then they started WhatsApp businesses like for businesses and like
that's what I'm saying. They
like
found
internal
a way to make money.
It's like
Right.
and they make like bank off that. Like it's crazy.
Everybody just wants to develop an app and just you know.
No, I'm gonna make the next Facebook. I'm gonna be billion.
Ooh.
That's
and then I'm gonna censor Joe Biden. I'm kidding.
Just to be able to censor Joe Biden as Twitter did with Trump.
Did you see that this morning?
I did see that. Oh my gosh.
I didn't watch it. I was like like, if something happens, I don't want to be at the forefront of it, even though I'm so far away.
Like, it's right there, but it's so far away, but it's right there.
I couldn't do it. I was like, because they were really concerned about like an in-house attack.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to.
I mean, like, you're basically announcing it to the public
the day before.
That there could be somebody within your own group who's going to attack you. It's smart, and in a way it's kind of stupid because you're just showing how not well secured you guys are.
Yeah.
They had to like screen it was this whole thing. But anyway, I mean, it's over. It happened. Hopefully things get better.
Yeah.
Hopefully
well, at least now we won't have that wall problem with Mexico.
Okay, look, no, here's the thing. So here's the thing. Like, I think this is really important. And this is like, the last 4 years have been, I mean, Joe Biden could literally be the worst president of the United States of America, and he still wouldn't hold a candle to what Trump has done.
Absolutely.
I mean, he'd really have to screw up. I mean, he'd have to, like, literally be talking to Kim Jong-un to do something bad here.
Yeah. Have to have his personal phone number on his phone, have to, like, have Snapchat with him. Like, they'd have to have, like...
That's the only way to screw up as much as
they're like FaceTiming every Saturday because, they're buddy.
Oh, yeah, they have their tea, whatever.
Go to a secure location and play some pool,
As we do. Play Uno.
It's... Yeah, but it's crazy to think about that. Like, at a point... There was a point in the administration where we were going to go to war with North Korea.
Like... Literally, beginning of 2020, we're gonna be in World War III, and we're just like, no, and then COVID, and then COVID, and then it's just like,
It's just mishap after mishap.
Yeah.
For real. Oh my goodness.
I mean, we have hope.
True.
This year.
True.
See, but I don't see... You already see the signals coming out that it's not gonna be the year.
Yeah.
Because those numbers, because no one knows how to wear a face mask properly.
Yeah.
Oh,
no one knows how to wash it. Nobody knows how to wash their hands.
Actually, the province of Quebec now is giving out fines for people who put on their mask and don't cover their nose.
That's amazing. That's good. When it hides right above the top of their lip. Oh my god, drives me nuts.
Yeah. I almost want to yell at people, but I'm just like, I'm a kind individual. I can hold myself back.
Why are you such a Canadian?
Instantly grab my crowbar, but
I'm going to kill you for this. There will be bloodshed, and you will learn to put on your face mask.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Battle Royale.
No, but it's like, what is it? There was there are like so many things like that where I will tell people, hey, you're wearing your mask wrong, and they'll give me the dirtiest look, but I'll be like,
what you want?
I'll be like, no, and when they do, I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to save your life, but hey, if you want to die, it's all on you, and I'll walk away. I'll walk away. And if you can't handle the truth, well, then that's your problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
I haven't been out in a minute, but
Yeah.
I've just stopped going out. Like I used to go for walks, and then I look outside and there's snow out there, and I'm like, I don't know.
No, I find it funny when there's a bunch of smokers wearing masks, and they're like literally huddled together, and they're not supposed to be huddled together, but they're literally wearing their mask, and then pull down their mask, take a puff, and then put their mask back on, and I'm just like, what is why?
It's like when you go
literally
the restaurant.
No, wait.
That's like
the
worst.
Actual action of smoking is literally to exhale and inhale. Yeah. You're supposed to avoid doing that at a constant. Why would you huddle together? Stay at least far away from this person.
Go away. Get out of here.
Go away.
But no, I think the restaurant thing is the funniest thing. It's like wear a face mask in line, separated, and then let's walk into the restaurant and you can sit down, but now you got to take off your face mask so you can eat.
No, it's also like airports. Airports now. You see the giant lineups. They're staying like 6 feet apart, and on the plane, everybody's cramped with them. Like, what? Like, it makes no sense.
Nothing makes sense anymore. But you know what? Hopefully, there's hope. Yeah. That's all we got at this point.
I don't see August being a success. I have hope.
No, I have a feeling. I think we're because I'm going back to school in September.
Okay.
With this one.
No, he just wanted to follow me.
No, that's not really what happened.
He wanted to walk in my footsteps, even though I'm the younger one.
That wasn't the plan. I mean, I've already finished my prom, but I'm gonna go back for more education because I want to make bank, bro. Anyway, so
I mean, I'm gonna make bank as soon as I finish because there's a high demand for.
Bro, there's more demand for it anyway. So, as you can tell, we're very non-competitive.
Love it.
But so no, I have a feeling they're gonna like require us to be vaccinated to go into any building, like to go to school. They're probably gonna be like, I need your form that says you've been vaccinated.
I mean, Cineplex is already thinking of having that to be mandatory.
Yeah.
If you want to go see a movie, you have to be vaccinated.
Yeah. And I mean, like,
how they're gonna ask for proof of this?
No.
I don't know.
There should be like the COVID app.
COVID app. It states how recent you've gotten your test and how recent your vaccine was. That'd be. We should get on that.
Right, Victor, you got it. Trademark it.
Trademark it. There you go.
It's already been done. America did it already.
I hate America.
Also, so did I think London did it. I think England did it too already.
I mean, honestly, just update the COVID app already.
I mean, England's been vaccinating since since November.
Wow.
Or early December. I can't remember. But they've been vaccinating people.
See, I love when people were downloading the app for COVID, they're like, the government's tracking us now, all of this and that. Or just like, you don't even need to have the app to be tracked. And then there's also those people of like who talk about like the future and, having like a chip in your wrist, like, and they're going to track you. And there's this guy like on Instagram, I saw his post, and it's just like, why would the government need to put a tracker in you when you're walking with one constantly? Like,
in your pockets. Like, oh my god. Yeah.
It's really funny. But yeah, I don't know where to take this now.
I mean, you still need one more question. It's only been 2 questions.
Okay. What do you plan to study?
I got accepted into like both universities I applied to. I'm doing psychology, and in at the university I'm going to, I'm going to do psychology and a minor in life science because I want to like, I don't know 100% what I want to do yet, but I want to leave like the door open for like, if I decide to like change my mind halfway through, but the trajectory I'm like thinking of is going into medicine. So I want to leave the door open in case I halfway through I'm like, absolutely not, can't do that.
I went straight full send for medicine. I just
do it.
No, I already did.
We both applied for college yesterday. We were like, okay, let's click this button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. Isn't that what Nate's taking too? Isn't he also taking psychology?
Yeah, he's taking a BA in psych.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I actually remember that.
I didn't even remember that, and I talked to Nate more than you do.
I know. I was like, yeah, my brain works. No, that's interesting though. You guys are gonna open up your own little psych place. I'm gonna go in once a week. And
actually, you guys could open up an office.
I'll show up once a week and tell you guys about how terrible of a human being I am, and then walk away and be like, make sure to listen to this week's episode. It's gonna be great.
Another way of advertising. We'll get like little pamphlets in your office.
You know what? If I ever have some form of like medical office, you can have some brochures in there if you will.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna have so many pamphlets. I'm telling you, it's gonna be all about the pamphlets. All the money we're gonna make is gonna go into those pamphlets.
Only pamphlets.
We'll mass produce. We'll internationally distribute.
No, you know what's really funny about this podcast is we started it like as a joke.
Yeah.
At first, we were like, you know what? Let's see what happens, right? And then we do like no advertising, like literally no advertising. Like the only time we'll advertise, and it's if we remember, like if a guest's on, we're like, hey, we'll tag you like in a story or something when it's up or something like that. But if we forget to like do that with the guests, we'll just not do it. And then like 2 weeks ago, we had a guest on, and we never advertised. Like we didn't tell anybody about it.
Yeah, we totally dropped the ball on that one.
But
apologies if you're listening to this.
No, but I mean, like a bunch of people listen to it still.
Yeah, I know.
But like
it was a joke, and now we have like 1,000-something people listening to us on a daily, and we're just like, okay.
Here you are.
I mean, I don't feel like I'm that interesting, but I guess I am.
Apparently, what is it like? And what is it? It's Sir Paula who we have on. Like we've had Sir Paula on twice now, and it's both been like a year after he's been on.
So it's like equal distance between the episodes. It's like literally a year.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so this year we're gonna have to get him back on to complete the cycle.
We're just gonna check in with him every year.
Yeah, make sure he's still alive, doing well.
The podcast just goes successful. We're like in the middle of LA, and we're like, Sir Paula, we're coming to Canada. We need to get that episode in.
Oh my goodness. You get him like to you.
Yeah, we get him a flight to come over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Too much work. This is what Skype's for.
Nah, I want to see his face.
Yeah.
You're seeing her face.
Yeah, but there's the difference between seeing Nicole right in front of me and not seeing Nicole right in front of me.
Okay, so look, so that was the problem with last year. When the pandemic broke out, we're like, how do we get people? Because we do a guest every other week, or we try to. But then all of a sudden, like our like line got like cut off to like have people in our house because we like invite you over, maybe order some food afterwards, as a thank you for partaking in whatever the world this is.
But now it's
throw your voice on the internet forever. I mean,
oh my gosh, I just remembered how we met.
How did we meet?
We met doing theory in the library.
Oh my god, that's so true.
I feel like you don't remember.
I remember spending hours.
We sat in the same table with a few other people. I knew some people and she knew some people, and that's how we met. We met at a table at the library with our music teacher totally lost in what we were supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But we met in the library.
There we go.
There you go.
The resolution. There you go. The first question.
I just remembered right now. I'm like beating my brain, hacking at it. That's why I haven't been talking that much. I'm like, how did I meet this person? And the reason I remembered is actually because of a movie. You know the Pink Panther?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remembered the way he said Nicole. And I remember I watched the movie like a few days before I met you.
Okay.
So every time I'd say your name, I'd hold myself back from saying Nicole.
That's fantastic. Oh my god.
That's why I remembered. I remembered the movie in order to remember how we met.
Okay, so I have 3 questions, mainly 3. So the first one is, how does your brain work like that? 2. This is more like a comment, not a question. Your connections make like no sense.
No, they make absolutely no sense.
I understand.
But it makes sense because I had a struggle that exact day of not saying her name funny.
There you go.
So
okay, I guess. I mean, I don't.
That was the connection.
I don't know.
I found a difficulty on that specific day, and then I embraced it, and then I went throughout my day, and then I found Nicole there.
And here I am.
Scanned that far as literally I went searching in my mind Nicole.
Every Nicole ever.
Just every Nicole ever crossed my mind and just went back.
You know what? Nicole used to be a popular name, but then Nikki came around, and then everybody was just named Nikki.
That's true.
And then somehow there's like a resurgence of Nicole again.
Yeah. I knew a Nicole in middle school, and I used to work with a Nicole, and that's where the line stops.
I mean, I've never actually gone to school with a Victor. Never. We literally went into like the database for the school of like the list of all the students.
Yeah.
Searched up the name.
You're the only one.
The only one.
That's crazy.
Like, we did this multiple times.
Wow.
Like every year we checked. I'm the only one. Except for this other kid who had the French version of my name.
Mm.
And he liked to be called Victor. I wouldn't call him that because I just refuse.
Yeah, you have that brand.
Yeah, like you can't call yourself.
What is it? It's like it's like when like I never met like 'cause my name is like very
Italian.
It's not very common in the English speaking community. Right. So like it's not very like commonly used. But I've met a lot of Aidens or Idens or like mixtures of like or Adam or like variations of Adrian, but not Adrian. But then I met this one kid when I was in high school and I was volunteering at an elementary school. That's a mouthful. And he spelled his name Adryan.
Okay.
But it was pronounced Adrian. But when you read it, it was Adryan.
Ooh. Oh, I don't like that.
So all the supply teachers called him Adryan, not Adrian.
He's a walking advertisement.
And so when I found out about this, I was like, you have my name and you butchered it.
You messed it up.
Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
No, but where's your mother at?
No, it was one of those like weird moments where I was like, you have my name, but you like white. It was one of those things.
Oh God.
It's like I have a friend. I'm gonna say his name, but I'll bleep it out.
Right.
Okay, so picture this: tall, white, brown hair.
Oh no.
The audience has no clue what we're talking about. It's a very typical, very stereotypical name for people of African descent.
But like so when I first met him, I was like, "Are you for real?" And he goes, yeah. And I go, there's no way. And he goes, dude, and he pulls out his driver's license and shows me. And I was like, this is insane. Then he goes, my parents were hippies in the 60s, bro. And I go, seriously? It's like, no, I'm actually joking. Like, we're super religious. They don't even let me listen to music growing up. I was like, wait, what? The plot twist was so big. I was like, dude, who are you? But he was like, I remember we had this conversation where he was like, yeah, I wasn't allowed to listen like pop music at home. So he was like, he had like this crazy like archive.
So he was literally like living underneath a rock.
Yeah,
for like his childhood.
Yeah, so we would like literally like I every so often I'd be like, hey, have you ever heard this song? He'd be like, no, and he'd like Google it and be like, yo, it's actually like so good. And I'd be like, yeah, that came out in the 70s, way before you were even a thought. And he goes, see, this is the problem. He's like, I'm trying to like catch up to like our time alone, like the 2000s. He's like, but then there's this whole archive of like before the 2000s that's like crazy good that nobody like talks about anymore. But it's still in our playlist for some reason.
I mean, like recently, like a lot of like old jazz, like Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra have been showing up because of TikTok.
Yeah.
And I'm just like I was like that one kid who just got into that way before like it started showing up on TikTok. And I'm just like, no one listens to this music. Nobody talks about this music anymore. I'm like, I'm so disappointed. And then TikTok brings it back alive. And I'm just like,
whoa.
I could have started a trend. And then I didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, it's so weird.
You're welcome.
There you go.
I know. It's because I mean, I have a pretty like I consume music. The only explanation I can give is I consume music like I've been walking in the desert for 3 days with no water, and someone finally gave me a cup of water.
Yeah, that's fair.
I consume so much, like the amount of times like I'll be talking like my sister, my brother, they'll be like, hey, have you heard this song? I'll be like, dude, that was like 3 weeks ago. Where you at? Like I was there for your day.
I know when I'm telling you about music, it has to at least be within 6 hours. Like if not, I won't even bring it up. I'll just be like, he's heard it.
It's really funny, like, but at the same
and then I'll throw you off guard, and I'll go back to like the 70s and find some guy you've never heard of.
Well,
just to kick you off balance.
It's like super obscure. Like, how am I?
I mean, just to kick you off balance. Like,
but like the thing too is like I'm an auditory learner, so I learn by listening. So he'll be like trying to figure something out, and then I'll be like, I've heard that somewhere before, and he'll be like. And he'll be like, no. And I'll be like, yeah. And then I'll Google for a bit. And then I'll play this song and be like, this is the exact same chord progression, bro. It's already stolen.
Already done.
We actually, the episode with Nate, we go in deep dive about this. How I rewrite old songs I've never heard before.
Oh, okay. That's really cool.
And since my brother's older than me, he'll remember the song. And he'll be like, you just rewrote an entirely like song that already exists. Like, just the whole thing. And I'm just like, I'm trying to be unique. I'm trying chords that we don't even use today. And he's like, that's an old song. It's already been used. That's why I don't hear it anymore.
Oh.
Yes, it's unfortunate, but you're lucky. You're not being called out for plagiarism. You're welcome.
I mean, like, technically all of pop can be considered plagiarism.
Okay, yeah, but like it has to be with like the rhythms and like the way that they're played, right?
I can add a triangle so far back, you won't even know.
But you know what I mean?
And
like,
I can call it parody.
Yes,
but I totally just stole your song.
Excuse me. Back in the day, when you'd have to upload to YouTube, you would have to edit a part of the song because you weren't allowed to upload music to YouTube freely. So like all the lyric videos at the end of the video, way back, would have like some weird noise or like screech, something going on in the background. So that way the video wouldn't get removed, and they'd be like at the bottom, be like parody.
That's crazy.
See,
yeah.
you just
to upload like
you just
a
have
lyric
to
video.
time it right. Like put another instrument in the song that isn't actually part of the song, right on the beat, and then you can have the song free.
Yeah,
and it doesn't affect anything. You can literally have that sound go off once.
It's like what is it? It's like I remember back in the day. You guys probably don't know this. Back in the day, before the time of Netflix, and people wanted to watch stuff online, and it wasn't exactly like legal. Let's put it that way.
Movies.
Yeah, we would pirate stuff. And they used to put like a little red dot in like one of the corners.
Oh, I hate that.
So you could get away with stuff.
Or like
we literally still have movies like that.
Wait, say that again.
Or they'd like flip the image or whatever. So like.
Oh yeah. The whole thing's like a mirror image.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you did live that.
We did live that. We did live.
Yeah.
It's like teachers now. They like question if we even know what a VHS tape is.
Do you know what a I'm kidding. I know you know.
I literally just said VHS tape.
Yeah. I grew up on VHS tapes. Up until I was like 5, it was all like VHS.
Okay,
stuff.
I went way longer.
Yeah, I didn't go very long.
See, I'm like I missed out on all of that, so I caught up on all of that.
Right.
Just like this crazy. We had like this crazy VHS collection. Like
we have like a quarter of it left.
That's
and
cool.
it's like literally an entire shelf and like 2 like garbage bag fulls of just like VCR tapes.
That's
of
sick.
like movies and like TV shows.
And like we still got like the VHS player, like it's like mint condition.
But yeah.
That's crazy.
But now everything's online. Like literally, I'm like, I'll be like, what do you guys want to watch? And they'll be like, what? I'll be like, literally everything's online now.
Yeah.
Like, just name it and I can probably find it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, like, it's adding like streaming services though. There's like so many now, and it's all adding up. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Which streaming service do I go with?
What is it? Paramount is releasing a new one.
Oh wow, we don't need more. We really don't.
We don't need.
No, what is it? Hulu, Netflix, Amazon. Well, Amazon get that with Prime, but then there's what is it? Disney Plus.
Yeah.
There's one called Peacock that isn't in Canada yet, but that's like another one.
Yeah.
Then there's Crackle, Crave.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
I feel like we're missing one.
I feel like we're missing like a bunch.
Gonna be so many more.
Anyway, yeah. So that's like 7 right there, and that's just like I'm just trying to get content. Then there's like
HBO. Also.
HBO has one, HBO Max.
Yeah.
Just so I could watch, literally, just so I could watch Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Like any like stream, like ABC, CBC, CTV, they all have their own like streaming.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and the whole reason this came out, like Netflix's trope was like we're cheaper than cable and we got everything you want to watch.
And now Disney's literally like stripping it.
Disney's like, that was a good play, but you tested the grounds for us. Now we're gonna do the same to you, and they took all their content back.
Yeah.
But Disney's crazy. Like they're just like on.
I mean, Disney and Netflix. If you write a script and your show gets picked up, you know they're gonna do a good job with it because they have the money to do it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
What is it?
It could be the trashiest storyline, and they'll pull through somehow.
Like will be a chef's kiss. You already know.
Yeah, what is it? It's like it's really funny. There's like all these comedians who like they have like especially like there's a few comedians, especially like YouTube comedians, who like they all have the same bit where like, so I finally finished writing my comedy special. I'm just waiting for Netflix to pick it up.
Dude, honestly, I've written my own already. I sent it to them like years ago.
Like it's crazy to think about like the kind of like momentum that Netflix has where like every comedian want to have that comedy special with them.
I mean, like once you make it on Netflix, you've made it.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get signed to stadiums. Not now, cause COVID. But like you'll get signed to stadiums.
You'll get signed somewhere.
You'll get signed somewhere as soon as you release anything on Netflix.
Yeah.
Just having that on your resume is like, this man's gold right there.
When Netflix is the new YouTube.
Yeah.
For real.
Like honestly, I could post one YouTube video on YouTube, and then put that on my resume.
YouTuber,
influencer of 25 people.
God.
What is it like? It's like I remember there's like this mural in LA where you have to be verified, so you need at least 10,000 followers in order to take a picture with this mural. And the artist literally put a security guard in front of the mural, so like you can't like get in and take a picture.
Like you have to like show the guy on your Instagram how many followers you got.
It's crazy. It's like I'm like that's like an artist trying to get clout for this. Like that's crazy.
I mean, like what other market is there like that? Like that's a great niche market right there. You're getting exposure basically for free, and you're guaranteeing that a lot of people are gonna see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like what a genius! Hate that guy.
When you hate a blue check mark.
That's it. I'm dropping out of school. I'm gonna become an artist. I'm just literally gonna draw like a red dot, and people are gonna be like, "That's a Banksy."
You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. I bet like half of our audience didn't get that joke.
Okay, but it was good. Okay.
I think we should wrap up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been nice talking to you, and I mean, I wish people could see this because your reaction to literally everything is just so gold.
Yeah. All right, guys. It's been Two Lion Brothers Podcast. Everything's always in the description, whether it be up, down, left, or right. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with your donkey. Share with who knows what. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. I mean,
you're wrapping up way too quick. You forgot to mention that if you'd like to follow Nicole, if you'd like to shout yourself out.
Yeah. Just Nicole Skinner with an extra R on Instagram. That's it.
Right. I'll link it in the description if there's. That's it. That's all you want to shout out. Nothing else.
Yeah, that's really.
You want to be like, "Hi, mom." There you go. No, we had like a person come on, and they're just like, "Oh yeah," and they said like hello to like a few of their friends.
Oh.
And then they shouted out like their like Twitch channel, their Instagram, their Snapchat.
They took it like it was like winning a Grammy award. They were like, "I'd like to give a thanks to," and I'm just like, "Okay."
My mom, dad.
It's like a good 4 minutes of them just like thanking people.
We cut it all out. Anyways, guys, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Make sure to check out last week's episode. You know, we got to rack up those numbers. Anyways, catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.